Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. If you clicked on this video, you have probably heard that you can farm materials and resources for free in your teapot in Genshin. I am here to tell you that that is true, and this is a full in-depth guide on how you can maximize your teapot and how you can get the most resources possible with as little effort and time needed as well. I did previously make a video about this a really long time ago, but I would like to make an updated guide since I think there is a lot more new information that you guys deserve to know. So without further ado, let's not waste any time and get right into it. Okay, so farming your teapot requires one thing, your teapot. You can check your inventory to see if you have the sereniteapot. It should be in your gadgets section. If you realize you don't have it, make sure that you are adventure rank 35 and you have completed the main Leeway Archon quest. Now, since I did complete this quest a long time ago, if you haven't done it yet, it should show up in your events menu, and it's going to be a quest related to getting a bunch of materials and talking to Madam Ping in order to obtain the teapot. But once you have your teapot, it doesn't matter if there's anything in your teapot or if you've gone into it yet. Here is how you do it. If you want, you can do it the long way by clicking on the sereniteapot, placing it down and clicking enter the sereniteapot, or if you go into the map, you can click on sereniteapot and then teleport straight to your mansion. Now personally, I like to teleport straight into my mansion, but just to show you guys, I'm going to enter the sereniteapot. There's going to be a little animation that plays, and now we are here. Now as you can see, I already have all these realms unlocked. It doesn't matter which one you actually choose. I believe at the beginning you get a choice between Floating About, Emerald Peak, and Cool Isle, and then you can purchase the other ones later. Just so you know, it doesn't matter which realm you chose, it works for all of them, but personally I suggest that you choose a realm that you don't like using. If you already have all these realms unlocked, choose your farming realm to be one that you don't like, and for me that's Floating About. That's the one I use for farming, because you're just going to be spamming a bunch of furniture in here, and it won't really matter what the design of the realm looks like. Just to show you what it's like to start over, I'm going to be using this realm which only has the main house and I just bought for the sake of this video, so let me show you how it's done. Now in the teapot, the most important thing that you need to do is get trust rank. You can find your trust rank by talking to Tubby and then clicking over here in trust rank. Currently my trust rank is 10. Over here you'll see your adeptal energy level, and then here will be all the companions that you have. As you can see, every time you level up your trust rank, you gain primogems and access to a bunch of new features, such as unlocking new areas and furnishings. Now if you are just beginning and your trust rank is not maxed out, here is how you can do that the fastest. What you're going to want to do is go around into the map and look for remarkable chests. These remarkable chests can be from any region, it doesn't matter, but I suggest you choose a region that you have easy access to and that you can easily teleport in and out of. When you claim these remarkable chests, you will see furnishing blueprints looking like this. This one is from Natlan with the summer event, so once you have them all in your backpack, you're going to want to click use, and just do that with all the furnishings that you have. You can also buy furnishings from Tubby directly. To do that, you just go talk to him and then go over to Realm Depot, but I do not advise you do this because you have to spend realm coins and you might not have an abundance of it to begin with. Anyways, once you have all those furnishing blueprints and you clicked use, you should go over to create furnishing. As you can see, as I scroll down to the bottom, over here are all the new furnishing blueprints that I have. The reason why I suggested that you collect blueprints of furnishings that you have easy access to is because your furnishings need materials to build. A lot of the time you will need wood to make these furnishings, as well as different iron ores, and occasionally even fabric, which you can get from the cotton flowers, and then these dyes, but you can create them through here. So as you know, some wood is harder to get than others because a lot of the time that wood is separated in different trees and there aren't bushy forests. So your best bet is to choose a furnishing that has a lot of trees in that area. Pine trees are a good example, and bonus points if you have the Boon of the Elder Tree device, because this one you can just put on and anywhere you go you can collect the wood from the trees without having to hit it. I highly recommend getting this device. It is so useful and it will make your farming a lot easier, so make sure you go get it. If you don't know which furnishings require what materials, I have linked down below a list of all the Genshin furnishings and what materials they require to be made, so check that out before you make any furnishings, but also you can just check it if you click through your furnishing menu here. I have a lot of furnishings because I have a lot of blueprints, but if you're starting out you might not have as many. It doesn't really matter because what we're looking for is actually the ones that have a new tag on them, but also if you look at this little symbol in the corner, you are trying to look for these, which is your bonus points upon first creation. Let's go back to all the Natlan stuff that we got earlier, and because I have not made these furnishings before, there are still a bunch of new tags on them, which is perfect. So this little sign that you see in the corner is actually going to be the amount of XP that you get for making it for the first time. This only shows up in furnishings that you haven't yet crafted, and everything that you have made made doesn't have that sign anymore, which means you can't earn any more EXP for crafting that item. That EXP that you are gaining goes towards your trust rank. As you can see, the same symbol is right here. So basically, the more times you craft an item for the first time, the more trust rank you are going to earn. And the more trust rank EXP you earn, the higher you level up and the more rewards you get. If we look back at the list, you can see that these furnishings are color-coded based on rarity. Just like weapons and artifacts, the green ones are the lower tiered with 2 stars. We have blue, and then we have the highest level, which is purple. Upon crafting the 2-star furnishings, you will get 30 EXP, 60 EXP for the 3 stars, and then 90 for the 4 stars, which obviously means you want to craft as many 90s as possible. So make sure you have chosen something you have a lot of resources of, just like this one where I have a lot of ore so I can craft this item, and make sure that you haven't crafted it and it still has the symbol up in the corner. If you do have Kaveh, I suggest you craft with him because you're going to be able to get a refund for all the materials you spend, and it's better to get a refund than nothing at all. So what I'm going to do is click create. As you can see, that item went into the creation queue, but if you look over here, it says 15 hours and 59 minutes, which is something I'm not willing to wait for because I want to level up my trust rank as fast as possible. That's where you should head over to the Realm Depot. Click on this tab over here and you will see furnishings. Then you will notice there are vials of adeptal speed. These vials of adeptal speed only cost 10 realm coins, and you can get these realm coins from Tubby, but since they are very cheap, I'm going to get as many as I can, which is going to be 10. I have obtained 10, and just remember that the shop does reset every week. So once you've bought the first 10, you can just return again the next week, which is going to be the Monday when all the weekly bosses refresh, and then buy 10 more. Sadly, this is the maximum amount per week, so that's why you want to get this done as fast as possible. This whole process does work without the vials of adeptal speed. You're just going to have to wait a little longer. So just in case you don't have any coins to spend or you don't have the vials, that is totally okay, and we can continue as normal. So I'm going to go back to my create furnishing menu, and then over here I'm going to click get now. It requires you to use 1 vial of adeptal speed each time you do this, so in this case I can speed craft a total of 62 furnishings. Just remember, you can still craft without the adeptal speed, it will just take the full amount of time. The 2-star furnishings only take 12 hours, the 3 stars take 14, and then obviously the 4 stars take 16 hours. I recommend doing these while you are sleeping if you are not using the adeptal speed, but if you are, let's just do that right now. And I have obtained the furnishing as well as the bonus materials. Now because I have the max trust rank, the EXP is not going anywhere, but if you haven't maxed out your trust rank, the EXP that you have just gotten from your furnishing creation is going to go towards your main trust rank. So that will slowly level this up over here. And now I think you can kind of see the pattern, but I'm going to go back to create furnishing. However, the important thing to know is you cannot craft the same thing again. As you know, I have just created this one, and it no longer has that little icon in the corner, which means if you do craft it again, you will not get the EXP. So that means you need to get a new furnishing each time and craft it. Thankfully though, you don't have to buy furnishing blueprints in the shop anymore because you can get them from exploring, which I am super happy about because now you don't have to spend a lot of coins. So make sure you take the time to go through the interactive map and look for all the remarkable chests that you find around there and collect them. So what you're going to want to do is fill up your creation queue. Because my trust rank is very high, I have this many slots. You don't start out with as many because you gain slots as you gain a higher trust rank. So try to fill up your entire creation queue and just keep going until you have no more vials of adeptal speed. Be sure to prioritize your 4-star furnishings because these are the ones that are going to be giving you the most amount of EXP, and you're still using the same bottle, which means that using your vial of adeptal speed on a 2-star item is not going to be as useful as using it on a 4-star item. The reason why these rarities matter is going to be mentioned a little later. But anyways, once you have done that, you should have a bunch of furnishings in your inventory. So we're going to close out of this, and now it's time for the fun. Okay, so now I have assumed that you have created all your high-level furnishings and you are ready to go. So in that case, you just want to head over to the edit menu, which is this little icon here. You can also click F7 if that is what you choose to do on PC, and it should take you to your editing menu here. This is the Sumeru realm. It doesn't matter again which realm you do it, as long as you just have a big empty space. Okay, so here are a list of all the furnishings that I have created. There are so many categories like courtyard, building, landform, landscape, and then in between those you also have these smaller categories with a ton of furnishings. The reason why I have a lot of furnishings is because I've been creating them for a long time, but hopefully you follow the instructions before and you do have a lot of furnishings to use. It doesn't really matter how many you have, just remember more is better, which is why I'm gonna go head over here and find the furnishing that I just created. Now when you look at this menu, you can see that this furnishing has a little number in the corner. The number for this one is 90, meaning that it's going to give you 90 adeptal energy. What you want to do is look for the items with the highest adeptal energy, like this one has 100, and basically put on as many high adeptal energy things as possible. So in this case, I'm going to want to put this tree. I can also put this building down, it's huge, and then maybe one of these. Basically just keep spamming a bunch of things in your area until you have put all your available furnishings that you can use inside this little piece of land. If you realize that you have no more furnishings, you can also put down some companions. So for example, I'm going to put down Varessa, and if you don't have any more companions, you can also put down animals. However, there is one thing you should be aware of, and that is this thing that says load right here. The load limit is basically your maximum amount of furnishings that you can put in the area. Some furnishings have a high load and some have a low load. Sadly, there is no way of knowing which ones have a high and low load, but the common understanding is that the more complicated the furnishing is, the higher the load is. So for things like these landforms, there is a very low load, but then for things like these, which are little mini games, they have a really high load. So what you want to do is find a balance between objects that have a high adeptal energy, which is this little number right here, while also having a low load. This will take a little bit of trial and error, but honestly the best way is just to place a bunch of items until you no longer can, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'll just place down a bunch of random things. I like to head over to the buildings category and just place down a bunch of random items. The organization does not matter because the realm that you chose is just going to be your farming realm. If you want, you can make it organized. It will just take a little bit of time, and you can always come and redo this later, but right now we're just doing it for farming, which is why it looks absolutely atrocious. And I'm just going to keep going, adding more items as we go. This is looking real bad, but it's also really good because as we put down more objects, our adeptal energy is increasing here. Just remember that you can place objects on top of each other, something like this. That's mainly if you just run out of space, which is what I'm doing right here. It looks really bad, but it does work. Now you can see my load is yellow, which means it's close to its maximum limit. So just to finish it off, I'm just going to add a few more buildings. And once your load limit has reached red and you can't place down any more furnishings, you are done. If you are still in the early game and you don't have enough furnishings to reach the load limit of being red, that is okay. Just put down as many furnishings as you possibly can. Remember to prioritize furnishings over companions because the furnishings are better for your adeptal energy than the companions are. But either way, once you are done, click save, and then it's going to say saved. You can close out of it, and look at this absolute mess. I really don't like it, but it is going to work. But basically, once you have put down all your furnishings and you go over and talk to Tubby, you will notice that your adeptal energy is going to be higher. Now it does say fit for a king for me because another realm already has max adeptal energy, but depending on how much adeptal energy you have, which was that icon in the corner with that number that you saw, this is going to change. If you click this exclamation mark, you will see a little chart that shows you your adeptal energy, and it's sorted by how much you have. Since I had around 3,000, my level would be considered cozy. But what's very important to know is that the more adeptal energy you have in your realm, the more realm currency you will earn over time. The realm currency is the one that can be collected in this little pot right here. The maximum amount of realm currency that you can earn will increase as you increase your trust rank, but just be sure to log in every day or every other day just to make sure you claim your realm currency and that it is not capped, just like your resin. Okay, let's say that some time has passed, whether that is about a day or just a few hours. If you do go back to Tubby, you should notice that you have more realm coins. Now obviously I didn't wait that long, so I still have the same amount, but either way you should have realm coins to collect. So collect them. And then now that you have some realm coins, you can do two things. Option one is that you go again to your realm depot, buy more vials of adeptal speed once they're ready again, buy some furnishing blueprints, and just keep crafting furnishings until you have reached maximum adeptal energy and have repeated that process that I mentioned a million times. Obviously this will take a long time, but it is so worth it in the end because having an up and running farming realm is going to be so useful because the higher your trust rank is and the higher your adeptal energy level is, you will earn more coins coins a lot faster. You can also earn friendship EXP a lot faster, and it is just going to be so much easier in the later game, which is why I recommend investing your coins. But if you're looking for a quick fix, which isn't going to be the most sustainable, but really if you just want to do it, you can go to Realm Depot and then look at Realm Treasures. These also reset weekly, so you can buy all of these things once per week, and then once they've reset along with weekly bosses, you can buy them all over again. Personally, I like to buy the Hero's Wit, Mora, and sometimes the Weapon EXP, but most of the time it's Mora and Hero's Wit. There's also Artifact EXP if that's what you're looking for, but let's say I wanted to buy some Weapon EXP. If I click the maximum amount, you can see that I need 2,400 of these coins. Obviously that's very expensive, but as you get into the later game and your teapot is absolutely maxed out, buying them will not be that big of a deal. As you can see, I can clearly afford it, but if you're in the early game and you haven't invested your coins, I much more recommend investing your coins into actually improving your teapot before you start buying things from the store. So just choose whichever path you feel like will fit you more. I've already given you my recommendations, and it's up to you what you do with your account. Here is a bonus tip, just so you know, you actually can farm friendship EXP and primogems, those juicy primos, in your teapot. For friendship EXP, as you remember, we put down the character Varessa earlier. She is standing right here, and if you notice, when I go back and talk to Tubby, Varessa's icon is shown here in Companions Hosted. This little treasure chest right here is friendship EXP, so if I click it, Varessa is going to get the friendship EXP, which is why I recommend putting down characters that are not friendship 10 yet. All of my characters as of now are actually friendship 10, so I have no more characters to add to my teapot, but if you still have characters and you want to get their name cards, you should put them down and prioritize them over your other characters. If farming friendship EXP is not your priority, just remember that primogems still can be earned from the teapot, both through the trust rank, which are shown here with your trust rank rewards, as well as companion gifts, which I have made a full video already. It is going to be linked in the description of this video. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It is very important if you are a free-to-play player. You can farm your primogems through your teapot, and I've given you a full guide on how to do that. Here is a little side note. If you are farming with your teapot and you're running out of space, you don't want to layer things anymore, you will end up unlocking all these other areas as you increase your trust rank, but if you don't have access to them, you will have access to them later, so don't worry, there's still plenty of land for you to use. And if you think you have no more space and you can't add more furnishings, or you have reached your load limit, fear not, because if you actually go over here to your mansion, you can enter through the front door and click the edit button, and you have full access to customizing your entire place. You can do the main hall, a bunch of little inner rooms, you can also do the second floor, and basically customize the entire place. You could even put 4 cats if that is what you desire. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that you can really maximize your teapot use if you do things efficiently, and if you're all done in your farming realm, or you just feel like you want to decorate your teapot instead of just spam a bunch of things, you can always change your realm and go to a different area. That is totally fine too. Just remember, it doesn't matter which realm you are currently using, as in the one that's currently active. Tubby will only account for the one with the highest trust rank, so clearly this one only has 5,000 adeptal energy, but Tubby will still use the rates of creating coins of the one with your highest, which is this one, which is 21,000. So you don't have to worry about switching back and forth to your highest realm level. The only reason you would want to switch realms is if you have your companions standing in a different realm and you want to farm for their EXP as opposed to a different batch of companions. But don't worry about switching out of your farming realm, although just remember, if you do have guests over in your teapot, they will be teleported to whichever realm is active. So if your farming realm is the one that's active, they will be seeing that mess that you have, and that's personally why I don't really invite guests to my teapot. I don't want them to see this mess, which is my farming realm, but I guess you guys are special, so here it is. It's not really much, but yeah, anyways. I really hope this video was helpful. I had so much fun making it. If you have any questions or would like to request a video, put it in the comments. I will be happy to share any more tips in the future. Be sure to check out my full Notion planner that I have linked in my bio if you'd like an aesthetic planner for organizing your Genshin account. But either way, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to take care of yourself, guys, and don't take farming too hard. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and I will see you all in our next video. Bye!